Some of you are feeling the energy. I'll discuss that in a moment. But I'd like to continue some of the lessons that I've been giving about moving into the new energy. Some of the things about moving into the new energy have nothing to do with what you think, and some do. It may surprise you what we're saying. We told you you cannot take old energy into that which is new energy and then expect it to work. That should be obvious. We told you about expectations when we started. And now we are going to speak of another one. It sounds similar, but it's called assumptions. Make no assumptions. And yet you do. All of you do, because you can't help it. This is where you come from. You assume things because they're always the same way. And then you go into a new energy and you carry the assumptions of the old, and it won't work. And when I mean it won't work, I mean the things that we spoke of, the laws of attraction, the consciousness effort to pave your path with good intentions, they're not going to work either, as long as you carry assumptions. Let's talk about some assumptions before we even get to the Sphinx here. Here's one. You come to this land of Egypt, you're new, you come from perhaps a big city in the West, and you see that everyone is honking at everyone. And you think, they're all mad at each other. Look at this. I don't want to be on this road. They're all crazed, and there's road rage everywhere. I can tell because they're all honking at each other. Honk, honk. That's an assumption, is it not? Until you move into the culture, the society, and you realize that although it may look like organized chaos, you hear the differences in the beeps. Short ones mean, I'm here. Another short one around you means, thank you, I see you. And it's constant because there are often no lines on the road. And so they're always telling each other where they are. Here I am, here I am. Short beeps, short beeps. Beware the long ones. Then they're mad. Did you know that? That's an assumption. You see two of the citizens of Cairo, and you see them in discussion on the street. And you're afraid. They're yelling at each other. They are. They're angry, obviously. One is getting right up to the next one, right in his face, and yelling things, gesturing. You're about to call the police when they hug each other. And they all laugh. That's because they've been negotiating. This is the culture. They play out the negotiations. Some of them play a role. Some of them are acting out a part. And they're having fun. But you almost called the police. Do you see where the assumptions from one culture to another may get you then in trouble? Think about the assumptions of one energy to another. An old energy of the planet that's been here for eons, and you've just assumed this and that and that. You cannot then carry that into an ascended energy, or even the beginning of one. Make no assumptions. Let me give you a more profound one. There's a very ancient, you might say, dig. It's an archaeological dig in Bolivia called Tiwanaku. It's one of the highest archaeological digs in the world, over 12,000 feet. My partner was there, and they had recently made some discoveries when they dug into the dirt. And the archaeologists were there from another culture, because the Bolivians do not yet have the finesse, perhaps, and the education that they do from other cultures. Beware, you now have another culture investigating the one that they don't belong to. And they dug down and they found very, very interesting objects. And the objects were like within the same area of each other, meters from each other. There was one that seemed to be from Asia. Now that's interesting. What does that mean? There was another one that seemed to be from Egypt. What does that mean? So the assumptions carried out may very well change their history books. And here's the assumption: that there was some kind of marketplace there where they were selling things and their wares, and indeed there was evidence then, therefore, of trade with Japan, China, Egypt, and all of those places, because those objects were found there. Let me tell you what they missed. I spoke to my partner in Channel on the dirt where this took place, and he remembers it. They did not give the Bolivian ancients any credit for finesse, any credit for elegance, any credit for intelligence. What they had dug into was a museum. They had a museum because they had a culture that honestly understood and respected the ancients from afar. And they had had some come through from distant lands and show them this and that, and they had found this and that. It didn't belong to the land. It wasn't in a marketplace. It was displayed as a museum. What was the assumption? That the ancients weren't very bright, or that the ancients had no elegance at all. Because in modern times you have it all, and in ancient times they're just a little dumb. Make no assumptions. You sit at the feet, literally, of perhaps the oldest sculpture on the planet. How old is the Sphinx? There is no true answer. They don't know. But when you start looking at it, there are some things that are odd. And I wanted to tell you about it so that you understand what is here and what is not. In Egypt, there are thousands of sphinxes, small ones, medium-sized ones. So you can easily see the template of a sphinx. If you look at some of the first pictures of the Sphinx being uncovered from the sand hundreds of years ago, you're going to see something very odd. The head is a different color than the body, indicating perhaps the head was changed. I'm here to tell you it was. And it wasn't by the original sculptors. It was by those, for instance, the pharaohs, or those in charge, or the noble people, who uncovered it first and wanted their head on it. And they put it on it. It may not even have the head now that you see and have seen for years and say, this is wonderful, isn't it? Not even the right head. It's a little large. It used to be a different color. And then the stories begin that you've heard perhaps in the esoterics. There's a secret door on the side. There is a door on the side. It's been covered up. It's not a secret. It's been opened many times in order to reinforce the inside of the Sphinx, which actually collapsed at one time. There's another story that there's a secret door on the top of the head. There is a door there. It's not secret. It's to reinforce and rebuild the head so it didn't collapse and fall off. There is so much work that has been done on this object, this very, very old, seemingly mysterious object, that very little of the original is showing at all. If there are any secrets that are esoteric, like things buried beneath or over or around, they're esoteric. That is, they would be multidimensional, because all of that has been surveyed, technically. There's nothing hiding in 3D here. So why is it that there's so much energy here? Why is it that it's so attractive to so many who want to be here and touch it and see it and be photographed with it? I will tell you this, and it is something you never thought of. Make no assumptions here of why you think it's mysterious. It is not a spaceship. It represents the beginning of a new enlightened society. This is the oldest relic they have, representing the very beginning of those who believed in the afterlife and those who believed in Ra, a God that you believe in, that the Creator is listed as. That is the Creator you see today, that you understand today. This represents the beginning of all of that. That is why you are here looking at something that is truly amazing. It was the beginning. It's ageless. There is no one who knows how old it is. There was water here. No one knows that. Oh, there's some evidence. The Nile was closer. All manner of things were different if you were here back then. But as far as being mysterious, I will tell you, the only mysterious thing is why you think it's mysterious. It is powerful. It is amazing. It is remarkable. It is precious in what it represents. And if you are one who feels things, that's why you're here. To honor the beginning of a civilization 5,200 years ago. Right on time. In the scale of the cosmos, the precession of the equinoxes, and what was happening and expected. You are sitting at the same juncture. What are you going to build that someday someone will find? What if it isn't physical at all? What if it has to do with a compassionate government, the first one of its kind? What if it is more than that? What is inventions that will feed humanity, the first of their kind? That is all in the scope of the next years on this planet. And you are here to celebrate the first one you're looking at and to be here to be within the second one as it starts. This is what I wanted to tell you. And so it is.